Words so sharp, they cut right through. Real talk for the soul's appeal. Prayers rise up the wounds they heal. Lift our voices to the sky. A righteous perspective high. On this path we won't back down. For the Father wears the crown. Each step brings another fight. Breaking chains, we're seeking light. Voice of power won't be tamed. With his love, we're never shamed. Lift our voices to the sky. A righteous perspective high. On this path we won't back down. For the Father wears the crown. From the ashes we shall rise. Hope is found deep in our eyes. Every word a battle cry. With the Father none deny.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. It's your man Wise, and we have a great show today. You know what we're talking about. But before we get started, in the chat, please let me know where you are tuning in from, city, state. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in or out the building. Shout out to the mods that have already pulled up. Shout out to B. Shout out to Zephyr K9. I'm glad to see and hear that you are doing well. I appreciate you here for sure. Shout out to TA Kasky, man. What's going on with you, brother? We got our ARP family member in the building, Ed Maurer, as always. Shout out to you, brother. What's going on, Mark, out of Nashville, Tennessee, or some people like to call Cashville. I got a lot of family out there in Nashville, Mark Lynn. So next time I'm out there, man, I'm gonna have to I'll let it be known I'm out that way. I don't know if you play golf or anything like that, man, but, if you do, hey, let's link up, try to get out on the links, man. Y'all got a couple nice golf courses out there. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I have not received my press pass yet, but, I'm sure there's a whole lot for them to get through, and I'm assuming that, we won't get a chance to go all the time, but because I'm local, it won't be too much to get down that way. Although DC can be a hassle to get in and get out of, but at least I don't have to worry about getting on a plane to get down there. So, so it is what it is. But appreciate you guys pulling up today. If you notice that I'm looking to the right, I'm also looking to the left. The camera's in front of me, but the screen here is to the right of me. So I like to see what's going on in the chat as well. We got Philly in the building, Southern Ohio in the building, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Okay, so you're right there outside of Nashville, in that Nashville area. Wilkes-Barre, PA in the building, Derby, CT. We got DC in the building. Shout out to you, Steve. Appreciate you pulling up. Roosevelt, Sound Off, out of Chicago, Illinois. Okay. All right. Are you part of the Make Chicago Red? Are you part of that? Are you part of that crew? We got Colorado in the building, McKinney, Texas, Newark, New Jersey, Brick City in the building. What's going on? Pittsburgh in the building. Okay. All right. Asheville, North Carolina, Northeast PA in the building. Appreciate that, man. TA, you fighting the bug too? it is going around. I mean, it is cold. It is winter months, man. But you guys got to take care of yourselves, man. I don't know if you guys are in the gym. I don't know if you guys are taking zinc and, loading up the vitamin C, things of that nature. But you got to take care of yourself, man. Got to take care of yourself. Oh, Ed, you went to Vandy? Oh, man. Okay. Ed's a smart guy. You don't go to Vanderbilt and not be a super intelligent person. We got Mark from Michigan in the building. Shout out to you. I know where NPO is from. We got Brooklyn in the building. They the loudest people when they park up. Brooklyn in the house. They got to let everybody know that Brooklyn's in the building when they pull up. All right. We got Oklahoma in the building. Okay. That's what's up. Kuna, Idaho. Springfield, Oregon. That's what's up, man. Appreciate you guys pulling up, man. Like I said, we got a great show today. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Arizona, Appalachia, VA. Okay, that's what's up. NC in the building. Lynchburg, Tennessee. Boynton Beach, Florida. Cleveland, Ohio. Illinois. Okay. All right. We got a lot of folks, man, all around the country up in here. Tucson, Steve in the building. Okay. Cary, North Carolina. Yeah, we got a lot of North Carolinians, that watch the channel, man, and I appreciate you guys, man. Crescent Valley, Nevada. Okay. Minnesota. VA in the building, Idaho, Missouri, more from Idaho. Okay, Virginia. Yes, Scott, I got to put that up there right there so everybody can see that. Yeah, please make sure y'all hit that like button. James out of Bmore. Okay, one of my Baltimore brethren in the building. Appreciate you guys pulling up. As always, am I missing anybody? Sacramento, we got Bluefield, West Virginia. That's what's up, man. Kokomo, Indiana, Clarksville, Tennessee. Man, I appreciate you guys pulling up, man. Appreciate you guys pulling up. As always, shout out to the mods. Hey, keep it PC in the chat. Freedom of speech is huge on this channel. No one will be blocked, for speaking your mind. Hey, I'm all about it. I'm all about it. I will drop a link at the end of the, towards the end of the stream today. So anybody that would like to pull up, would like to chop it up with me, would like to say anything, please feel free to do so. You could turn your cam on or not. That's okay. I do ask that you keep it PC, no cursing and things of that nature on the stream. We don't want to demonetize the stream or anything like that. But yeah, as B said, yeah, please don't spam the chat either. But let's get into it, man. Let's get into it.
Backbone there, do you think, to defeat multiple nominees?
I don't know. I think it's possible. And look, we saw it with Matt Gaetz already, and I think that I was actually surprised how quickly that happened. To me, Kash Patel, and I don't say this lightly, is the most dangerous nominee that we've seen yet to our democracy. I mean, you might think that having Pete Hegseth running the military is a greater level of danger because of his lack of experience, or Tulsi Gabbard at intelligence. But just as far as the threats to democracy that we were warning up about before the election. And Kash Patel was a key player inside the Trump White House, pushing for and orchestrating the coup attempt in 2020. He was trying to completely take control of the Justice Department at the time. He was Trump's top lieutenant who was willing to do anything and advance any lie in service of his attempt to overturn that last election, to such a degree that there were many people that were Trump appointees in 2020 who were staying around and saying no, like standing in the breach and saying, no, not Kash Patel. Like, you cannot put Kash Patel as a temporary leader of the Justice Department, et cetera. These are Trump appointees. And so, I will see what happens in the Senate. But if Trump had people around him that were quasi-loyalists that were like, that guy's too far, who knows what that'll mean for the Senate.
If they're panicking, that means we're on the right track. If they're panicking, that means that Trump and this administration is on the right track. Straight up. Today was another huge day on Capitol Hill as the confirmation hearings kicked off for Kash Patel as FBI director and Tulsi Gabbard as director of national security. And let me tell you, the establishment and the Democrats, they're in full panic mode right now. And why, you may ask? Because these two aren't puppets for the establishment. They're just not. Let's start with Kash Patel. This is the man who exposed the Russia collusion hoax, blew up the corrupt FISA system, and fearlessly went after all the establishment folk when everyone else cowered. If Kash Patel takes over the FBI, it won't be business as usual. It'll be a full-scale reckoning. He's already made it clear that he would overhaul the FBI from top to bottom. And let's be honest, that is something that exactly needs to happen. The FBI, America's most corrupt institution, let's run down a list of their blatant corruption over the years. They raided Trump's home over documents that he had constitutional authority to declassify. They buried Hunter Biden's laptop story, helping to rig the 2020 election by calling it Russian disinformation. They knew that C-19 came from a lab, but covered that up to protect Fauci and others, or cover up their narrative as well. They also knew that Hillary Clinton's campaign fabricated the Russia hoax, and yet they still pushed it. They arrested pro-life activists, Christian pastors, and even elderly grandmothers simply for protesting. And now they wonder why Americans don't trust them. The FBI has been weaponized by the left to crush political opponents. You know it, I know it, the world knows it. They don't serve the people, they serve the establishment. The Kash Patel smear campaign, because Kash Patel wants to clean house and restore fairness to the system, the establishment is terrified. So what did Democrats do during this confirmation hearing today? What did they do? Exactly what you'd expect. Instead of questioning his qualifications or vision for the FBI, they launched a coordinated smear campaign trying to paint him as a threat to democracy. They launched personal attacks, baseless accusations, the usual playbook with these people. They don't want reform, they want control. But make no mistake, change is coming. Change is coming. And the establishment's days of unchecked power, they're numbered. And this confirmation hearing, it proves exactly how desperate they are to stop it. We got a lot to get into today because, we're just getting started. But let me know what you think, in the chat. Is Kash Patel the guy to clean up the FBI? Let's talk about it, man. Let's get into it.
Is that you, Kash Patel, reposting that at the top of that page?
Senator, I had nothing to do with the creation of that meme.
Is that you reposting it was my question.
And that's me at the top.
You said FBI agents were responsible for the violence on January 6th, and I quote you here, beyond a reasonable doubt. Is that what you said?
That's completely incorrect, and I appreciate the opportunity to address that.
I'll give you an opportunity in writing, but this is my time now.
Have at it.
An Inspector Attorney General investigation found that was false. And you said we should impeach judges who rule against Donald Trump, who are, in your words, political terrorists. When this nominee tries to explain all this away, keep one thing in mind. He's testified under oath before a Colorado judge who presided over a Trump case in which he was a witness. And the judge found, and I'm quoting here, he was not a credible witness. His testimony is not only illogical, but completely devoid of any evidence in the record. That's from a judge. This is a dangerous time, and I ask all my colleagues to consider whether these plain comments by this person and by his own Trump administration colleagues should be given a blind eye, just overlooked, or whether, like the warnings of pardoning violent January 6 offenders.
Yeah, so Senator Whitehouse, he gets completely triggered over a meme. Over a meme. Something that he probably, one of his lackeys found on Twitter or X. Because apparently, according to the Democrats, posting memes, it's now a crime. These people are ridiculous, man. But let's keep it real. They aren't interested in a real discussion about FBI reform. They're not. They don't want to hear about solutions. They don't want to engage in, fair debate. Instead, they just pull the same tired grandstanding routines, interrupting, deflecting, and making it all about their fake outrage. That's what it's about, man. And of course, They refuse to actually listen. They refuse to listen. You can answer in writing where no one will see it. I mean, this is crazy. He told him in front of everybody, you can answer in writing. You got him right here in your face. Let him answer the question. They don't really want answers. They don't want answers. He claimed that this is my time. It's about me. This is an opportunity for him to get his name out there. And that's basically the Democrat strategy in all of these hearings. Talk for 5 minutes straight, throw out a bunch of lies, refuse to let the person respond, and then act like they're the problem. It's not oversight. It's a clown show. And they wonder why people don't take them seriously. It's absolutely pathetic, in my opinion. Absolutely pathetic.
Your book includes a list of 60 people who you think make up part of the executive branch deep state. Mr. Patel, if confirmed, do you plan to investigate President Trump's former FBI Director Christopher Wray? Yes or no?
I have no plans in going backwards. I have plans in safeguarding.
How about
this-
James Comey? Do you plan to investigate him?
Senator, every investigation will be subject to the same
Do you
legal
plan to
standard.
investigate James Comey, who's on your list?
I have no intentions of going backwards.
How about
and
Bill
every
Barr?
intention of using the Constitution.
How about Bill Barr? Do you plan to investigate him, who's on your executive branch deep state, and you say you're going to ferret out the deep state?
No one
Yes or
that
no?
did not break the law will be
It
investigated.
no answers to any of those. Okay.
Honestly, I hope he does. I hope he does. Let's not forget that James Comey was at the center of one of the biggest political scandals in modern U.S. history. Under his leadership, the FBI launched Crossfire Hurricane, the so-called investigation into the Russian collusion with the Trump campaign. Do you guys recall that? I'm sure you do. And what was it based on? The Steele dossier, a now debunked piece of political opposition, research paid for by the Clinton campaign and the DNC. And despite being filled with unverified, unreliable, and ultimately discredited claims, this dossier was used to justify FISA surveillance on Carter Page, a Trump campaign advisor. And here's where it gets even worse. The FBI knew the Steele dossier was opposition research, yet they still presented it to the FISA court without disclosing its true origins. They kept pushing the investigation even after Igor Danchenko, the dossier's primary source, admitted that much of the information was based on secondhand gossip, hearsay, and outright fabrications. And then came the Durham reports. Special counsel John Durham findings confirmed that what many already suspected, the FBI launched this investigation without any solid evidence. It was based on raw, unanalyzed, and uncorroborated intelligence. And in other words, the whole thing was a political setup. And let's not forget Michael Flynn, Trump's national security advisor. He was ambushed in an FBI interview, never told he was under investigation, and then had documents altered to make it seem like he was lying. I mean, the FBI's goal was simply to take down a key member of Trump's administration. So yeah, if Kash Patel gets confirmed as FBI director, I hope he does go after this corruption to ensure that it never happens again. Because if the FBI can fabricate evidence, spy on a presidential campaign, and frame political opponents, then the system, as it is right now, is beyond broken. It's beyond repair. But of course, the Democrat senators, they don't want to talk about any of this. They don't. They're not interested. Instead of engaging in real debate, they follow their usual scripted performances. They don't listen. They don't react in real time. And if someone challenges them, it's my time. You can't answer. Shut up. Be quiet. Sit there. It's my time. You can't answer. And if you want to answer, send me a letter. Answer in writing. I mean, this situation, I want the cuss. It's a complete joke, man. It's a complete joke. They don't want answers. They want control. And that's the issue right here. These confirmation hearings, Is it for them or is it for us? Seriously, is it for us to find out? Last time I checked, these confirmation hearings are basically a panel style interview, to see if this person is qualified and if they can do the job. But yet they don't ask any questions, nor do they give the opportunity, for these people to answer. It's freaking ridiculous. And before I keep going, I want to make sure I give a quick shout out to Tobias Judah for the $4 super sticker. Appreciate you supporting the Daggone channel, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. God bless you, brother. Appreciate you.
Your answer, yes or no. Did you make money?
I don't have
This
those
is my third and
financial
last time I'm going to
disclosures
ask you
in front
that
of me.
question.
You have that information.
So you refuse to answer the question.
I answered
Here
1,300 pages.
No answer. And yet you spread dangerous misinformation.
Oh my goodness, man. I'm really not a fan of that lady there. I am really not a fan of that lady. She wouldn't let him answer a question. She wouldn't let him answer. And this is exactly what's been happening in Washington, D.C. for entirely too long. First under Obama and now on steroids under the Biden administration. And instead of serious discussions about policy and reform, we get emotional, partisan outbursts, performative grandstanding, and senators who are more interested in scoring political points than actually serving the country. And I have a problem with that, man. I have a problem with that. They don't operate in good faith. They can't debate based on facts, so they resort to baseless accusations and smear tactics. Case in point, you guys got to check out this insane clip of Senator Dick Durbin basically implying that Kash Patel, who is of Ugandan descent, is racist. You can't make this stuff up, man. You can't make this stuff up. This Kash Patel is of Ugandan descent, but he's racist. When logic fails them, when they have no real argument, this is what they fall back on. I mean, it's absolutely pathetic, man, but that's who they are. That's all they have.
You frequently associated with and sometimes praised extremist figures with well-documented histories of racism, anti-Semitism, conspiracies, and the like. In September of 2023, you appeared with Laura Loomer at an event promoting your book, this one here. You shared a photo of yourself and Loomer in which you held her book and she held yours. Just a few months before this event, Ms. Loomer posted on X that the September 11 terrorist attacks were, quote, an inside job. Around that time, she accused Florida's First Lady, Casey DeSantis, of exaggerating her cancer diagnosis to gain voter sympathy. A number of my Republican colleagues on this committee have criticized Ms. Loomer's extremism. One of my colleagues described her as a, quote, crazy conspiracy theorist who regularly utters disgusting garbage. Another called her really toxic. Given all of this, why did you associate with Ms. Loomer?
Senator, as you can see, I took a photograph with an individual who showed up at a book event. I don't believe I'm guilty by association, and I certainly don't believe that an individual who is the first minority to serve as the Deputy Director of National Intelligence for this country is a racist in any way, and I detest any conjecture to the contrary.
Shout out to Kash for defending himself, man. So now, all of a sudden, just being in the same room as someone, it automatically means that you share their beliefs. Could you imagine that? I'm sure you guys work around some folks that you detest or probably that have detestable beliefs. You're automatically looped in and y'all all in the same boat. Y'all are all the same, think the same, believe the same, so forth and so on. I mean, it's an absurd statement. It's ridiculous. The standard that these people are trying to set is flat out ridiculous. It's insane to claim that Kash Patel is racist just because he was photographed with Laura Loomer. By that logic, I guess every politician who's ever taken a photo at an event is now guilty by association. But here's the best part. Kash, he wasn't having it. He masterfully shut down Durbin and made it clear that this cheap smear campaign, it wasn't going to work. And he didn't stop there. You have to see the rest of this exchange between him and Amy Klobuchar, and instead of making valid points or challenging him on actual policy, she did what Democrats always do, resorted to false accusations and tried to paint him as some kind of extremist. Spoiler alert, it didn't work, but there's nothing new with these people. It's the same old desperate tactics, same old baseless attacks. You guys got to watch the clip, man. It's interesting to say the least.
We're going to come after the people in the media who lied about American citizens who helped Joe Biden rig the elections.
I got to stop it for 1 second. Shout out to Kenny Cooper. Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you supporting the chat with the $1.99 super chat. It says these Democrats are absolutely nuts, and I would 1,000% agree with you. All right, let's keep it going.
You said we're going to come after the people in the media who lied about American citizens who helped Joe Biden rig the elections. We're going to come after you, whether it's criminally or civilly. Is that something you said?
That's a partial statement of what I said.
Steve Bannon's podcast. You also said you would put the entire fake news mafia press corps on your list. Is that correct? Is that what you said?
I don't have that in front of me.
Benny Johnson's podcast, 8/21/23. You have said that the FBI, including today, you said that they remain utterly corrupt.
To you, Zephyr K9. Gifted 5 Righteous Perspective memberships, man. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you. Let's keep it going.
This is an agency with agents who have taken down terrorists, taken down bank robbers, taken down crime. And you wrote that the FBI has become so thoroughly compromised that it will remain a threat to the people unless drastic measures are taken. Do you know that under Chris Wray's leadership, he took over at a very difficult time, we all know that, appointed by President Trump, that during his tenure, the applications to the FBI has in fact tripled? Do you think people would be applying to that agency like in those numbers if they thought it was so corrupt?
The American public's trust in it is at 40%. That's an all-time low.
Did you say that the FBI headquarters should be shut down and reopened as a museum of the deep state?
Mr. Chairman, are we allowed to go an extra time?
Let's see. You get a second round. Before I call on Senator Lee.
Could he just answer the question if he said that the FBI headquarters where they investigate cybercrime and terrorism should be shut down and opened as a deep state?
Hey, Mr. Chair.
As a museum. Did he say that the headquarters should be shut down?
Mr. Chair.
I deserve an answer to that question. He is asking to be head of the FBI, and he said that their headquarters should be shut down.
Mr. Chair, parliamentary inquiry.
You got anything you want to say, Mr. Patel, before I go on to Senator Lee?
Simply this. If the best attacks on me are going to be false accusations and grotesque mischaracterizations, the only thing this body is doing is defeating the credibility of the men and women at the FBI. I stood with them here in this country. In every theater of war we have, I was on the ground in service of this nation. And any accusations leveled against me that I would somehow put political bias before the Constitution are grotesquely unfair. And I will have you reminded that I have been endorsed by over 300,000 law enforcement officers to become the next director of the FBI. Let's ask them.
Mr. Chairman, I am quoting his own words from September of 2024. It is his own words. It is not some conspiracy. It is what Mr. Patel actually said himself. Facts matter.
You forget that you had 3 minutes in the next round to say what you just said.
Amen. Amen. Kash Patel is not holding back on these fools, man. And I love to see it. I love that he is doing this. I love how he handled himself there. He completely shut Klobuchar down with a brutal comeback. And you could tell that he got under her skin. You could see it. And when politicians can't handle the truth, they resort to slander. And it's just a classic move, man. And speaking of slander, few people have been smeared more than Tulsi Gabbard. They called her a Russian asset, just like they did to Trump, an Assad sympathizer, soft on Iran. I mean, not a chance, man. But the establishment is losing their minds over her appointment. And why? because she's the real deal. Tulsi isn't some unqualified bureaucrat. She served in Iraq, spent 8 years in Congress on national security committees, and has more credibility than most D.C. Democrats. The Democrats, they loved her until she went after the elites and the corporate interests that they try to protect so desperately. But today, she ain't back down. And during her confirmation hearing, she unleashed on the establishment, the 51 intel officials, Hillary Clinton, and the Democrat Party. And her opening statement, hands down, it was one of the best that I've seen. Hands down.
Just a few other examples. The American people elected Donald Trump as their president not once, but twice. And yet the FBI and intelligence agencies were politicized by his opponents to undermine his presidency and falsely portray him as a puppet of Putin. Title I of FISA was used illegally to obtain a warrant to spy on Trump campaign advisor Carter Page, using a Clinton campaign-funded false dossier as their so-called evidence. Biden campaign advisor Tony Blinken was the impetus for the 51 former senior intelligence officials' letter dismissing Hunter Biden's laptop as disinformation specifically to help Biden win the election. Former DNI James Clapper lied to this committee in 2013, denying the existence of programs that facilitated the mass collection of millions of Americans' phone and internet records, yet was never held accountable. Under John Brennan's leadership, the CIA abused its power to spy on Congress, to dodge oversight, lied about doing it until he was caught, and yet has never been held responsible. Under Biden, the FBI abused its power for political reasons to try to surveil Catholics who attend traditional Latin Mass, labeling them as quote-unquote radical traditionalist Catholics. Personally, just 24 hours after I criticized Kamala Harris and her nomination, I was placed on a secret domestic terror watch list called Quiet Skies. Sadly, there are more examples. The bottom line is this must end.
That was a masterclass, man. Tulsi is putting the fear of God in these crooks, and it's clear why they don't want her in power. So, Eric, that poll, it may or may not be accurate, because we know that they can manipulate these polls to, they can manipulate the polls to say anything. We know this. But those folks, man, they are terrified of what she'll expose. They're terrified, man. And as I've said before, she's been lied about and smeared by the Democrat establishment, and even some on the Republican side as well. And that tells you everything that you need to know about these people. When both sides of the swamp are against you, it's not because you're unqualified. It's because you're a threat to their system. And that's exactly why in my opinion, she's the right person for the job. That's why.
I close, I want to warn the American people who are watching at home. You may hear lies and smears in this hearing that'll challenge my loyalty to and my love for our country. Those who oppose my nomination imply that I am loyal to something or someone other than God, my own conscience, and the Constitution of the United States, accusing me of being Trump's puppet, Putin's puppet, Assad's puppet, a guru's puppet, Modi's puppet, not recognizing the absurdity of simultaneously being the puppet of 5 different puppet masters. The same tactic was used against President Trump and failed. The American people elected President Trump with a decisive victory and mandate for change. The fact is, what truly unsettles my political opponents is I refuse to be their puppet.
Amen. Hey, the libs fear what they can't control, plain and simple. And honestly, that's why they've been going after Trump as hard as they've been going after him, for the past, 8 to 12 years or so, because they can't control him. That's why. Tulsi came in ready to expose their lies before they could even attack her, leaving Democrats stunned. And isn't this the party that claims to support strong and independent women? Yet the moment a woman like Tulsi refuses to toe the line, they try to tear her down. The hypocrisy is glaring. The hypocrisy is on 1,000 with these people. They don't want empowerment. That's not what they want. They want obedience. They don't want empowerment. They want obedience. And when Tulsi speaks truth to power, they resort to character assassinations or, just talk over. That's who these people are, man.
You believe, as the chairman of this committee believes, as the vast majority of members of our intelligence agencies believe, that Edward Snowden was a traitor to the United States of America.
Senator, if confirmed
This
as
is when the
Director of
rubber
National
hits the road.
Intelligence,
This is
I
when-
will
this is
work
not-
with you to make sure that there is not
a
another
moment for
Snowden-like
social
leak.
media. It's not a moment to propagate theories, conspiracy theories, or attacks on journalism in the United States. This is when you need to answer the questions of the people whose votes you're asking for to be confirmed as the chief intelligence officer of this nation. As my colleague said, this is not about you. It's about the people that serve the intelligence agencies of the United States. Is Edward Snowden a traitor to the United States of America? That is not a hard question to answer when the stakes are this high.
Senator, as someone who has
your
served
answer,
in
yes
uniform,
or no, is Edward Snowden a traitor to the United States of America?
as someone who has
I'll go on
worn
to
our
my
uniform
questions.
in combat, I understand how critical our national security
Apparently
is.
you don't. Apparently you don't. Let me ask you. I've worked.
What is wrong with these people, man? Seriously. What is wrong with these people? I mean, they flat out look like bullies and don't even realize that they're exposing themselves. I'm a firm believer that if you let someone talk long enough, they'll show you exactly who they are. If you let somebody talk long enough, they will show you exactly who they are. And in these confirmation hearings from last week, this week, they are exposing themselves big time to the American people. We're starting to figure out who these people are. People are actually starting to pay attention to what goes on at these hearings. People actually care. You couldn't say that 4 or 5 years ago or 8 years ago. You had some people that did, but most people could care less. And now people are watching this, and sometimes, in some cases, this is the first time that they're seeing this, and they're like, wait, what the hell is going on? They don't even let these people talk. Could you imagine going on an interview, but the manager or the owner of the company asks you a question but never lets you speak? It's a freaking joke, man. Seriously. Could you imagine a Republican treating the woman like this? Could you imagine that? Could you imagine a Republican senator treating any woman like this? These people, the talking heads on CNN, ABC, NBC, all of these places, they would lose their daggone minds calling that individual a misogynist. They call that man every dang but a child of God. You know it. I know it. Democrats get a free pass, though. They get a free pass. They can do whatever it is in comparison in the eyes of the legacy media. They can. I mean, again, they don't want answers. They don't want answers. And again, imagine going on an interview where the person who is supposed to be interviewing you never lets you answer a question. It is the dumbest thing ever. These people, they ask loaded questions, grandstand for the cameras, take up all the time just so they can chase their few minutes of fame. That's what it's about, man. But here's the thing. Kash, Patel, Tulsi, they handled this situation like pros, man. They stood their ground, defended their integrity, and laid out their vision for reform with confidence. Meanwhile, Democrats made fools of themselves. focusing on smears and political theater instead of having real conversations about national security and law enforcement. The American people, we're watching. We're watching these people make a mockery of something that should be taken so much more seriously than they've taken it. It is clear. It's clear to me. I hope it's clear to you guys that the establishment fears change. They fear change. They want more of the same. They fear leaders who can't be controlled. Kash and Tulsi represent accountability, transparency, and putting America first, not party politics. Today wasn't just about their confirmation. It was about defending justice and the national security from partisan corruption. That's what it was about. But I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. I want to hear what you guys think. Did Kash and Tulsi prove why they're the right picks? And in your opinion, do you think that these Democrat smear tactics, do you think they'll backfire? Those are the two questions I have for you guys, man. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. I want to hear from you guys, man. I want to hear from you guys. Link is in the daggone chat. Again, pull up, camera on, camera off. I don't really care about that, but I do ask that you do not curse on the stream. We don't want to demonetize the stream, but I'd love to hear from you guys. When you pull up, I'll ask the question to you again, but the American people, we're watching. We're watching, and we're seeing this, sugar honey iced tea show of confirmation hearings, not only this week, but last week. And it's a mess. It's a mess. Yes. And anybody can pull up. You don't have to be a member or anything like that. You on the stream, you watching the channel, pull up. I'd love to hear from you guys, man. But while I'm waiting, let's go through the chat, man, and see if I missed anything in the chat. I do want to say there was a young lady that was in here that was part of the ARP family that I wanted to make sure I showed some love to. Let me see if I can find her. And shout out to you, Eric Smith, for pulling up as always. Off the grid, Andy. Appreciate you pulling up as well, sister. I don't know if she's already checked out, but she did say have a blessed night. But appreciate you pulling up and appreciate you, joining the ARP family. And we have some new people that joined the ARP family recently, or at least over the past week or so. And I want to make sure that I show you guys some love as well. Give me 1 second. I want to pull this up and make sure that I don't miss anything here. Obviously, we had some new members that were able to join today. So appreciate you guys. Daily Devotions. Let me make sure I got that right. I want to make sure I shout the name out all the way. Daily Devotions with Tony Girl. Shout out to you. All right. All right. I'm gonna have to come check your page out, man. See what you got going on over there, man. I like the faith-based content. I'm into that. Okay, we got Eileen Albanzi. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that properly. Suzanne Hughes, Lulu Gumshoe, and Off Grid Andy. Those are some of the new ARP members. And then who else? I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody that has joined the ARP family recently. Kathy. We got Stephen Lynch. We got a few folks, man, that's pulled up. Boo and Toby. Shout out to Conservative Blackness. Shout out to you, brother. I miss anybody? Earlene McCauley. Shout out to you. Appreciate you joining the ARP family. Quincy James. No, he's been around for a little bit, but appreciate you as well. Yeah, so those are all the new people that have joined the ARP family recently. But I'm going to drop the link in here one more time and see if we can get anybody to pull up. It is Thursday. Now, y'all know on Thursdays, I try to drop the link and try to get people to pull up. Every now and again, we've had a few people pull up. Eric Smith has pulled up, and we've had a few others. But, y'all don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be scared. It's okay. It's all love. It's all family over here. I know some of y'all get, I guess camera shy or something along those lines, All right, I'm going to answer your question. Steve says, love the beer. Why do you grow that so cool? I appreciate that, man. I don't know if that's the question of why do you grow that so cool? It just grows like this. If y'all notice, I got this black streak that kind of right down the middle. My wife calls it the it's like a skunk streak or something. I don't know, but instead of having the white streak, I got the black streak right down the middle. So it's kind of weird. But I used to dye it and keep it all black, but I just was like, you know what? I'm not putting those chemicals on my face anymore, man. I'm done with it. So just let it grow out and just let it be what it's going to be. My wife loves it, and it's grown on me, over the years. I used to rock a goatee and things of that nature, or I would just keep it really tight, to the face, but stubble, kind of stubble-like. But, I kind of like it. It's grown on me. It looks like me. And I guess, when you don't have any hair on the top of your head, when you're challenged up there, I guess it's good to have, somewhat of a full beard, here. So, it kind of works, But yeah, I get a lot of comments on that, man. And I appreciate you guys, man. I get a lot of comments and compliments. Although I had somebody say I look like Tyrese mixed with Morgan Freeman, which I thought was hilarious. It's like, man, you look like Tyrese, but mixed with Morgan Freeman because of the gray in the beard. But I actually enjoy the gray, to be honest with you, man. It's a sign of wisdom. The good Lord has blessed me with 45 years, on this planet, and I appreciate it. And, when you start, getting the grays, it shows that, the Lord is blessing you with years on this planet, man. So I don't take that for granted at all. And shout out to Stephen Lynch for the $2 super chat. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate you supporting Cool Beard. It defines you. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's grown on me. And, it's definitely grown on me. But I do enjoy it. But I guess we're not going to have anybody pull up today, huh? All right. I guess not. I may end up, jumping back on here tomorrow, doing a live. Normally, I don't normally do live streams on Fridays, but I may end up jumping out there tomorrow, depending on what's going on. But I do appreciate you guys pulling up. As always, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do that. Turn those notifications on. We're fighting an uphill battle, when you conservative, out here. We got Speaker Yahweh in the building. Okay. As I was getting ready to sign off. All right. We got one person to pull up. Give me 1 second here. What's going on, Speaker Yahweh? How you doing today, brother?
Hey, nothing,
Can you hear me?
How you doing today?
All right.
Yeah,
Outstanding, man. Perfect. Where you tuning in from? Where you calling from?
The city of brotherly love.
Oh, you up in Philly? Okay, you're not too far away. Okay.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm able
That's
to
what's
drop
up.
in. I'm glad I'm able to drop in and catch you before you jumped off. Didn't expect to catch you. I didn't expect to jump on, but since I had an opportunity, I didn't see nobody else getting on, so I figured I'd come in and take up some time.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. What do you think about these confirmation hearings, either today or yesterday, or if there's anything else that you want to discuss?
Well, yeah, I kind of want to discuss the bigger picture, with all the confirmations and all the picks that Trump is, putting in his cabinet, things like that, and, kind of getting people to, in a sense, wake up to what's going on. I mean, Trump's putting people in there that will push his agenda. And right now, if people can't see what Trump's doing, they need to understand that his agenda is righteousness.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And like I said, if people can just look at everything through a righteous perspective, I mean, I know it's a play on your show, but if everybody can look at it through a righteous perspective, they'll see what Trump is doing. They'll see who Trump is following, in a sense, because, the issue with was, the current establishment is that, there's a shadow government, they got their own puppet masters, but times are changing. There's a shift in everything that we're dealing with. This whole dimension is shifting and everything's going to righteousness. So I believe Trump's on the righteousness train, you know what I'm saying? So I support him. I mean, 100%. I endorse him. He knows I endorse him. He knows that, I'm behind him 100%. And all we have to do as a people is come together, let him know collectively what it is we want as a people. And as long as it's a righteous agenda, he'll fall in line with it as long as he knows that, it's approved by the Most High.
Absolutely. I would agree with you 1,000% there. I think, I'm not gonna say I think. What concerns me, and I don't know if you've, watch, I'm sure you watch other channels and other, things out there on YouTube. There are some pastors, some bishops, apostles, or whatever you want to call them, from the black church who are obviously anti-Republican, anti-Trump. And in my opinion, it's almost like they're anti-righteousness, although they try to stand on, they're trying to stand on the word of God, but everything that they're preaching, everything that they are supporting, everything that they're teaching to their congregation is antithetical to the word of God. For me, getting into this, it was looking at policies based off of my beliefs and what more aligns with where I think this nation needs to be headed. What are your thoughts on the pastors that are pushing something that is antithetical to that?
Yeah, well, I do the best I can. I'm gonna do the best I can to keep this this stream monetized. I'm gonna watch my words.
Please do. Please do.
So, you understand what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about. Keep in mind that the ministries that you're speaking of fall under a 501c3 classification as a nonprofit organization. Okay, and in that, what people don't know who attend church is that those churches are bound to a doctrine that they can't go out. They have a theology that they can't go outside of. If they go outside of that specific theology and introduce the truth to the congregation, they will get demonetized. They will basically demonetized. They'll get declassified as a 501c3 because they will be outside of the guidelines, so to speak. So that's why a lot of the pastors, ministers, preachers, right now, they're trying to do the best they can to keep people, in a sense, distracted because they know they can't tell them what's going on. And that's what's happening with the churches, that all the churches know what's going on. They know that there's a shift. They know where we are in the Bible. They know that everything that's happening in the world is following after scripture. However, we're at a time in scripture where they are the Pharisees. They are the scribes.
Yes. Well, I would say that they're probably not the Pharisees. They're probably more the Sadducees. It's the ones that are in those positions.
Right.
They would be considered more the Sadducees, because the Sadducees were the priests, the leaders from I guess from they were considered the priests and things of that nature. They were the leaders, of those congregations at that time.
Right. So we could use the word Sadducees because basically that's what we're speaking about. The preachers, the pastors, the ministers.
Yeah.
Those people right now are the Sadducees. Those are the ones who are anti-Christ. They're anti right now because they can't teach. They keep this in mind. Like, what people don't understand about the Bible, because the church is using it, they believe that the church is in line with it, that they agree with what they understand it. They know that it's true. However, when we get to Revelation, they're against the Bible. They're against the truth. They're against they have a control mechanism in place, which is deception. Their control mechanism is deception. And in that, right now, they're losing their control mechanism because the truth is being revealed. There's a great awakening happening, and that awakening is happening because we're coming to the end of the Bible. We're getting close to Revelation 21:01, which is a new heaven and a new earth. Revelation 21:1, it's in the Bible, and I looked up and I saw a new heaven and a new earth. The old heaven and the old earth had passed away, and there was no more sea. That's the scripture. But if you look at it from a righteous perspective, it's talking about a whole new world, a new world order. And that's what's happening right now. We're coming out of a dark age, and we're headed back into a light age, or what is considered a golden age. That's why Trump is talking about we're in the golden age now, and this, that, and the other. He's looking at the Bible too. He's reading the Bible. That's why he was pushing the Bible. Remember, he's selling the Bible during his campaign, and they was complaining why he's out there selling the Bible. He's trying to get people attention, to let them know, hey, y'all need to look up, for your redemption is near. It's happening. He's following after the Most High's leadership. He's following after who he knows is being led by the Most High. He's taking his cues from that. So when we talk about, I tell people all the time, they're all puppets. Everybody in front of a camera is a puppet. It's just a matter of who is their puppet master. And like I said, the shadow government that was in government of darkness. Now there's the new shadow government, because they don't know that Trump is, he only got one person to answer to, really. He literally only has one person to answer to. But they don't know that that shadow government or that shadow entity is righteousness. It's being led by a righteous movement. It's a righteous movement. Everybody, they follow who's on YouTube. Follow the people that's on you. You know, obviously yourself, ARP, Righteous Perspective. Follow you and everybody that is on in that group of individuals on, because the new media is you guys. You guys are the new media. Just so you know. I mean, they even said it at the press conference yesterday. The press secretary said, you guys who are out there creating content, if it's legit, you're the new news people. You can get a press pass to the White House. You see what I'm saying? You guys are the new media. They know that. They know that there's a group of individuals who are being used to push a message, a consistent message that's in line with Trump, because Trump's following the same lead. So everyone in this group, everyone that's in this team of, they're all righteous. They're all it's a righteous movement. Because as long as we
I would agree with
continue
that.
and we build it and we get it to be stronger and we harness the energy of righteousness, we will wipe evil away and we can live in heaven on earth.
Man, I appreciate that, man. That's awesome, man. Appreciate you pulling up, brother. And appreciate you supporting the channel as well.
Always.
Any last words? Any last words? I mean, you said a lot. Actually, you said everything that needed to be said, to be honest with you.
No, I mean, only my only last words is just, let your followers know to keep following you. You're doing a great job. You're a righteous individual. I mean, like I said, the Most High is got you on the team. So, like I said, just keep following you and just keep a righteous perspective.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, Speaker Yahweh, man. Appreciate you pulling up. God bless you, brother.
God bless you too, man. Take care, and you be blessed.
Take care. Thank you.
All right.
Man, that was awesome, man. Shout out the Speaker Yahweh for pulling up today. Awesome. Wow. I think I might have missed somebody. Shout out to you, Steve. $4.99 super chat. Where we get that cool sweater you're sporting. I actually had this, I had it made. I am in the process of kind of recreating the design a little bit. Although I kind of like the simplified design of this. Pray, don't worry. I like it just being simple. But right now I don't have them anywhere where you can actually pick them up. But I will in the very, very near future. I will have where, for folks that want to get them, I'll have them in hoodies and t-shirts, but they'll only be black. It'll be black just like this. And this will be the only way that you'll be able to get one, either a black hoodie, with the writing like this, or a black t-shirt, with the writing like this, man. So we'll definitely, I'll definitely let everybody know once I have them available and you guys can pick up. Shout out to Dragon Master, is it 0 or O? Gifted one ARP family membership, man. Appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate you guys today supporting the channel. It means a lot. It definitely does. This isn't it's not an easy thing to do. But at the same time, it is work. It can be fairly time consuming to kind of put these things together to make sure that you're on point, throughout this. But so I definitely appreciate you guys supporting the channel, man. Shout out to Speaker Yahweh pulling up today, man. He dropped some gems today. And I suggest everybody, if you're not already, man, get in the word, man, for yourself. And pray about it and ask for, understanding and revelation. So that God's word can speak to you. I would say get in the word today for yourself. And, it's extremely important. I have mine, I keep it close. This is my study Bible. I keep it close. As you guys know, just to let you know, I ain't faking. This is real. I keep it close. I sit right here and I try to get my study on a day-to-day basis, man. And just ask for, understanding and guidance and revelation. So I can do what I do on a day-to-day basis, man. But definitely appreciate you guys pulling up, man. Shout out to Ed Maurer pulling up. Shout out to I think that was that another one from oh man, shout out to Dragon Master Zero. Gifted another ARP family membership. Appreciate that. What I am going to do, the other thing that I'm going to do as well, appreciate you, Dragon Master Zero, for the support. Everybody that is in the ARP family, I am going to give you guys an opportunity to join the Slack channel. It's like Discord, but in my opinion, I think it's a little more user friendly, and it'll be a place that we can get in and we can chop it up. I am in there. I do get alerts and messages and things of that nature. There's been a few people that have already joined, but I'll make that accessible in the very near future as well for folks that are a part of the ARP family. So you'll get a chance to chop it up with me and other people that are a part of the team in that way. So that way you guys will get a chance to fellowship and chop it up and share things with each other. You can share pictures, photos. You can share all kinds of stuff, in it, man. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Slack, but Slack's a really, really cool tool, And, it's something I've been using, for a little bit professionally. And then, adding it to this, Discord, in my opinion, it's too clunky and it's not that user friendly, in my opinion. It's just not that user friendly. So I don't really care for it. So I decided to go the Slack route. Slack is way more user friendly, and the UI looks so much better. The UI stands for user interface. The interface looks way better. It's it's much cooler, in my opinion. But I guess we're not gonna have anybody else pull up. If not, we'll go ahead and shut the stream down, man. I appreciate everybody pulling up. Shout out to the mods, TA Kasky, Zephyr69, or Zephyr K9. I'm sorry. Continue to stay on the mend, man. I'll continue to pray for you, man. And hopefully that by next week, you'll be 100% healed. TA, man, get yourself healthy as well. Shout out to B. Appreciate you, as always, pulling up and keeping things peaceful and flowing in the chat. Appreciate you guys, man. As always, keep God first in your life. Stay prayed up. I got to tell you guys, man, get in the word, man. Get in the word. It is extremely important and necessary, man. Get in the word for yourself. Stay prayed up. I'm going to catch up with you all next time. Peace.